today. He's done a really good job with limited supply. Team's just about to break up, just going through their final warm-ups. Before we start, just thank our sponsors, Great Southern Fuels, Ag Free, Delta Ag, Kimberley Accommodation Group, UDF Trailers, Corrigan Hotel, Wild Gravel, Alum Lube, Dartfish, Archie's, Omnibus, Classic Clashes, Gallagher, Premium Grains. For all your grain needs, go and see Premium Grains. Manjimup Gateway Hotel and Pemberton Hotel. Go and see the big fella Paul Chucky Fowler, and as I've said on many occasions, you'll get a good feed, a cold beer and a bit of advice whether you ask for it or not. Big Paul Fowler been a terrific addition to the local community and now is the publican of the Pemberton Hotel. Joined on the camera by our main man in Rob. He sits out the front, hopefully he doesn't get too wet out in front of us here. And on the time clock today, we're joined by Janice, Mrs. Beetle, Mrs. Juice. So hubby is out there doing the running. So yeah, a little bit of class has come into the timekeeper's box at Boyup Brook. Also like to thank Therese Lloyd as well. She does a terrific job around the footy club to make sure things happen. Been a tough year, as we've spoken about. Players move into position. Boyup Brook will kick to the northern end, which is the hockey oval end, left of screen. Getting towards the pointy end of the lower southwest footy season. Underway. Hall in the ruck for Deanmill, wins the first tap down, knocks it forward, comes towards Ianu, couldn't get the ball out, spills to Riley, handball over. They go forward, foist inside, 50, goes Boyup's way. And that big fella Nadusi takes a terrific contested mark. First shot on goal will go the way of the home side, Will Nadusi. He'll kick from 40 metres out directly in front. Distance, no problem. Terrific centre clearance out of the middle of the ground. The Riley boys getting involved. Lands on the ample chest of Will Nadusi. So opening shot of goal. Terrific boost. If he can kick this one, he crosses 50 now. Big Will Nadusi kicks on its way. Holds its line. Good kick, Nadusi. First major of this clash goes away of the home side. Nadusi gets his name on the scoreboard. And I don't know how many times this year we've said this, but Boyup Brook have the lead. One goal neat. Deanmill yet to score. Terrific mark by Nadusi. We've got to remember this kid's only 18 years of age, but he's been terrific up front. And the ball back in the middle of the ground. Hall up against Bleachmore, wins it down once again, goes towards Gledhill, spills out to Arno, gets a handball back to Hall, far side of the ground, puts in front of Gledhill. Will it set for him? It doesn't. Goes over the boundary line. The Lasso free kick go the way of Bombara for the Roos. Light rain falling. Archie Bombara drives it along the wing, not his best kick, lands on the chest of East for Deanmill. Blake East wields around onto his left boot, drives the ball forward, they're inside 50. Mark is taken by O'Neill. He goes back to where it come from. Hall muscles up against Bleachmore, wins the ball down, got to do the ruck roving now, spills out to Miller. Miller just chucks it onto his boot, it goes forward. Thompson, nice pick up. Ball smothered by Bailey, comes back in the middle of the ground. Beluda gets a handball out against his old club. Hall, Ianu, far side of the ground they go again. Has East running, finds him outside 50. Goes short looking for Strawn, bounces in front of him. Strawn helps it over the boundary line. Ball to be thrown in right in front of the scoreboard. Early stages, opening quarter. The only score so far goes away Nadusi. Terrific goal from 40. This time, Strawn does the ruck work. No ruckman wins it down. Spills out the back to David Marcotis. Handballs to Strawn. Under pressure he was. High up and under kick by Mar. Cut off right on forward 50 by Anu. He'll put it to the top of the square. Nesta players there. Mason's there. Demetrio, one grab, two. Takes it on the third. Ethan Demetrio. Good mark. Rain a little bit heavier now. kick from 30 metres out, directly in front. And this to tie the scores up. So failing to clear, defensive 50, Boyup Brook, Ethan Demetrio. In he comes. Shot's on its way. Holds its line. No, it pushes across the face of goal and through for a minor score. So a let off there for Boyup Brook. Hansen will bring the ball back into play. Nicholas Hansen assesses his options. It's going to go straight up the middle of the ground. Doesn't get a piece of it. Lands in front of Hall. Bounces up. Strawn well outside forward 50. Comes to Pasotto. And they're out once again through Riley. Luke Riley goes down the middle. Spills over past Thompson to Bailey. Thompson comes in and affects the smother. Now he has time. Picks it up nicely. Puts it to the top of the square. Carries over the top of Reed. Riley's run on. Will it stay in play? Tries to keep it in play. Does Riley? Could have been taken high. Umpire says yes. Play on advantage. And Riley's played on. Slack checking by the defence of Deanmill. And they've got their second. Luke Riley, loose in the middle of the ground. Ran up, second effort. Good smother by Thompson on Bailey. Allowed the ball to be pushed back to the top of the square. And Boyup Brook have had all the play early. Early stages, first quarter, 2 goals straight, 12, 11 points the margin. And the visitors just one behind. Ball's back in the middle. Hall wins it down, just thumps it forward. Goes towards Beluda, could have been taken without the ball. Receives a free kick, middle of the ground. Has options wide. Dylan Beluda. Drive it long. Looks down there for Mason, picks it up nicely, tries to go inboard towards Gledhill, comes over to East. Knocks the ball forward, lands into arms of Patrick Riley. Handball out to O'Neill. Drives the ball into open space. Ioanu's first back. Goes out of bounds. Free kick the way of Deanmill to Tim Ioanu. So under a little bit of pressure. Drives the ball long. Looking for Strawn. Front position. Couldn't take the mark. It was Mason. Spills out the back. Handball comes over to Marcotis. Marcotis goes back to Tempera. Shot on goal. Bent around nicely. And they're on the board now. Brock Tempera snaps truly from 30. Margin back to 5 points. Making hard work of it going forward. But Tempera found himself in a little bit of space. Snapped truly from 30 metres. So 1 goal, 1-7, the visitors. 2 goals straight, 12, the home side. They've looked good early. It's about sustaining it. Bleachmore in the ruck. Up against Hall. Bleachmore this time wins it down. Goes towards Blakey. Spilts out the back towards Patrick Riley. Wrapped up by Tempera straight away. Umpire will come in, throw the ball up. Forward to centre. Deanmill's way. Hall gets Bleachmore out of the way. Spills over the back towards David Marcotis. Handball out to Gledhill. Picks it up nicely. Goes wide. Player there in Demetrio. Has a few metres on Hansen. Takes the mark. Strawn leads. Mason's deep. It's going to come from behind. Mason gets his player out of the way. Legally, the umpire said, and Riley Mason takes the mark in front of Mead. Top of the goal square, 10 metres out, directly in front. Riley Mason, in he comes now. No problem. The visitors hit the lead. Mason gets Deanmill second. Terrific contested mark. They're just starting to find their mojo, especially through the middle of the ground. Hall dominating the ruck in the middle. They just haven't had the centre clearances they would like. The last couple of minutes managed to get on top. And Demetrio pushing up high. He's finding a fair bit of the footy. Hansen's going to have to tighten up down there. Ball back in the middle. Hall wins it down again. Goes towards Gledhill. Spills out the back to Miller. Gets onto his right boot. Cut off half back. Blake East goes wide looking for Gledhill. Finds him. Centre wing, far side of the ground. Bronson Gledall calling his players up. Goes long, strong. Strawn will come from 3 deep. Had to affect the spool. Done well. Mark Otis front and centre. Couldn't pick the ball up. Umpire seen a free kick. It goes the way of the visitors. And it goes to Mark Otis. Plays on straight away. Goes wide. Beluda take the mark. The ball's cut off. Bombara goes wide. Finds Riley. Been good. Luke Riley comes inboard. Finds brother Pat. Nearly played on. Mason stands the mark. Chipping it around now. Thompson, middle of the ground. Big Benny Thompson uses a corridor and it's cut off by Tempera. Tempera goes wide, looks for Mark Otis with the big mitts of Pizzotto. Takes the mark right at halfback. Ryan Pizzotto looking for options. Got to go long. Does so. Looks for Thompson. Over the back came Bailey. Missed both players. Spills out the back towards Brodie Reeve. Will it sit up for him? Does now. Tackled. Thompson's there. Umpire lets the play go on. Spills out. Bailey's got front position. Picks the ball up. Gives a clever little handball over to Tempera. Knocks it towards the skipper in East. Riley holds his feet. Handballs back out. Can get it back. Doesn't. Goes to Patrick Riley. Middle of the ground. Finds Miller. Been good early. Rory Miller. Nadusi makes the lead. Plenty of space over the back. Goes high. Up and under. They have the numbers. Good mark by Thompson on the third grab. Callum East. His front position. But his fellow defenders, they should have spoilt that ball. But Thompson takes the mark, much to the delight of Therese Lloyd, and he'll have a shot on goal. 40 metres out, 45-degree angle, distance won't be a problem. Ben Thompson, in he comes, kicks on its way. Good kick too from Thompson. Good finish from a terrific mark. And Boyup Brook hit the front. So 5 goals, tricky conditions. 3 goals straight, 18. 5 points the margin, 2-1-13 the visitors. Terrific marking goal by Thompson. Disappointing defence. Down back. They need to do better. You got the numbers. Destroy the ball. Thompson, only person there from Boyup Brook, wins it, kicks a goal. This time Bleachmore wins it down. Hall, first to recover, the opposing ruckman, comes back to Bleachmore. Big tackle in the middle on Riley by Hetherington. Umpire to throw the ball up. Still in the middle of the ground. Hall wins the ball out again in front of Tempera. Goes to kick, manages to get his kick away. They have the numbers out the back. One of them is Finlay. Rashed in the middle of the ground. Umpire lets the play go on. Tempera wins the ball out. Centre wing. O'Neill. Nice bounce for the big fella. Tries to get the handball away, but it's cut off by Mark Otis. Clever snap towards Beluda. Tries to get the ball to sit up. Has a player in Brown running past. Gives it to Brown to Hall. Hall shoots on goal. Misses everything. Out of bounce on the full. Relieving free kick. Deep in defence. Be taken by Hanson. So right on the goal line, Nicholas Hansen. Players lead, has a player short if he wants him. Still there, decides not to use him, goes long and strong, hugs the boundary, O'Neill in front position and takes a mark on the third grab in front of Strawn. Right on defensive 50, Callum O'Neill. Player short, unsure of what he was going to do, carries over the pack. Spills out and they're away once again. Bailey front possession in front of Thompson. Couldn't take the ball. Comes out to Brodie Reeve. Spills back to Bailey. Drives the ball long, but they have the numbers back. One of them's Bombara. He takes the mark. Centre wing. Now he's been called to play on. Goes short. Finds Bleachmore. We're right in front of the members stand. Benji Bleachmore. Big job for him today. Player short. Riley. Luke Riley plays on straight away. Good kick too. Finds Meek, goes long. Brody Reeve, big small, comes over the top, comes back out to Bailey. Dangerous, goes in board. Good kick in the end, finds Hall, middle of the ground. Handballs to Joshua Reeve. Hall gets it back. Now he gets onto that left boot. Demetrio's found some space and should take the mark. Does so right at half forward. Plays on, looks for Mark Otis. Mark Otis can take it and run, decides not to. We'll go back 35 metres out, directly in front. And this to give Deanmill back the lead. So good game early. Marcotis looking dangerous across half forward. David Marcotis directly in front. In he comes now. A couple of skips. Kicks on its way. It's pushed it and it's through for a minor score. So another let off for Boyup Brook. Margin 4 points. 2-2-14. Deanmill 3 straight. Boyup Brook. Nadusi, Riley, Ben Thompson with a goal apiece. Brock Tempera, Riley Mason, the goal scorers for Deanmill. Hanson brings the ball back into play. Cleverly goes short. Finds Pisotto still inside defensive 50. Big spud Pisotto. Goes long. Far wing. Carries over the back. Off Hall. Has Reeve out the back, knocks it to his advantage. Reeve can give it back. Handball misses its target, but Hall picks it up. Gives a handball over to East. Back to Reeve. Through the middle of the ground. They go now. The ball just will not sit. Getting quite slippery out there. Comes out to Heverington. He can't pick the ball up. He spent it before he had it. Ball's still in dispute. Now Boyup win the ball. Go down the wing. And they find the chest of Bleachmore. Doing everything right so far. Halfway through this first quarter. Bleachmore comes inboard and finds Bumbara. Handballs through to Riley. Kick to the top of the square. Nadusi's there. Cross in front of him comes Callum East and makes a spoil. Tries to soccer off the ground. Has a windy. It's up towards Ianu. Ianu sees it over the boundary. A little bit of help from Nadusi. Umpires just conferring. Ball to be thrown in. Now the ball's been turned over. So Nadusi not only kicks goals, he's also a boundary umpire of sorts. He's coaxed the Central into the lasso free kick right in front of the Deanmill interchange box. I'm sure he'll be getting some words of advice. Plays on now. Drives it to the top of the square, 20 metres out. Deanmill have the numbers, carries over all of them. Out the back it goes. Knock on towards Blake East. Tackled as he got his handball away. In they come. It's going to go back towards the top of the square. Cut off by East. Just chucks it onto his boot. Hanson in front. Gets around his player. Wheels onto his left boot. Comes inside towards Bleachmore. Bounces in front of him. Gets the handball out to Riley. Puts him under pressure. Wrapped up by Anu. Right on forward 50 for Boyup Brook. Ball to be thrown up. Hall up against Bleachmore. Reaches over the back. Comes to Riley. They're out. Riley can get it back. Handball misses its target. There's a fair bit of emotion in this timekeeper's box. Comes to Heverington. Gets a handball over to Ianu. Goes wide looking for Marcotis. Ball lands in front of him. Picks it up nicely. Goes down the wing looking for Strawn. Bounces in front of him. O'Neill's there. Strawn gets front position. Cleverly kicks it off the ground to Marcotis. Now he can assess his options. Looks for the chest of Mason. Misses the mark. Comes to Hanson. Hanson goes short. Finds Marr. Marr then finds Riley. And through the middle of the ground they go. Finds Patrick Riley. That was Luke to Patrick. Crosses. Goes inside 50. Looks for Nadusi. Takes the mark right on 50. Callum East stands the mark. 48 metres out. This will take his best. Will Nadusi. He'll kick from 52 metres out. This for their fourth goal, opening quarter. Game high margin. Goes short. Good kick too from Nadusi. Finds Bumbara. No closer to goal. Archie Bumbara been good in this first quarter. He'll put it to the top of the square. Players under pressure. Spills over the back. Close to the boundary line. East has found some space. They couldn't get it to him. That was racing. Now it does get to East. Helped over the line by Thompson. Ball to be thrown in. 30 metres out from Boyup's goal. 5 minutes to go in this opening quarter. Hall, ruckwork up against Thompson. Thompson gets it back to Mumbara. Goes across goal. Lands in the arms of Bailey. Nice pick up by the youngster. Just drives it long. Brown's there. So is Hanson. Hanson cleverly gives it over to Miller. Miller gets around one. Puts it inside 50 to Riley. Could have been dealt with the spoil. Umpire lets the play go on. Spills to Reeve. Carries over the top of Strawn's head. They have the numbers, Boyup Brook. Hanson does it cleverly. It comes back to him. Marcotis is there. So is Strawn. Marcotis gets it out to Hall. Hall just drives it long. Mason front position. Misses the mark. Spills out the back to Pisotto. And through the corridor they go. Pisotto. The mark's missed in the middle of the ground by Wedderburn. But has a player short in Luke Riley. Assesses a situation. Thompson makes the lead. Good spoil by Bailey. Spills out the back. Tackle put on by Ryan Lloyd on East. Blake East. Umpire to throw the ball up. 40 metres out from Boyup's goal. Callum East does the ruck work. Up against Thompson. Both players miss the ball. Spills out the back to Riley. Tackled. Umpire said too long. Free kick goes away of Riley Heverington. Goes wide. Finds young Kobe Brown. He comes in board. Demetrio, push right up. Handball over to Blake East. Blake East goes in board to Riley Heverington. High up and under. They have time. Mark's taken. Late was O'Neill on Baluta. And this will take Baluta all the way to the goal square. And this to give Deanmill back the lead. Baluta makes no mistake. Runs in. Drives the ball long. Doesn't waste any time because there's time on. But he'll pick that up as his league career goes. 3 goals, 2-20. The visitors. 3 straight, 18. 2 points the margin. 3.5 minutes to go in this opening quarter. "50-50 free kick, that one. Baluta took the mark. O'Neill over anxious, but they're up and about Boyup Brook. 2 points the margin deep in this first quarter. This time, the ruck's one down by Wedderburn. Ball spills out, far side of the wing. Bumbara. Will he be first there? It's had a good first quarter. Cleverly lets the ball go over the boundary line. Lasso free kick will be taken by Bumbara. Goes short, finds Riley. Luke Riley comes in the middle of the ground. Dangerous kick, but a good one. Mark taken by Wedderburn. Still 2 kicks out from goal. Thompson provides the lead. It's a good lead too by Thompson. And takes a chest mark in front of Bailey. A kick from 45 metres out, directly in front. Ben Thompson. This for his second of the first quarter. And this to give the lead back to the home side. Ben Thompson crosses 50. Kicks on its way. It's going to land at the top of the square. And East takes the mark. Still in play. Plays on straight away. Misses his target in Reeve. It comes back to Thompson. He was just sucking in a few breaths. Gives it to Karitis. Tries to go around with the dummy. Wrapped up by Reeve. And Karitis wins the free kick. And now a 50-metre penalty will take Karitis all the way to the goal line. So, Mitchell Karitis, he'll run to the top of the square. In he comes now. No problem. They're back in front. 4 straight 24, 3-2-20. And of all the games I've done this year involving Boyup Brook, young Mitchell Karitis has been terrific. Plenty of ticker. Went to sell a little bit of candy. And the tunnelling free kick was paid. I don't think the ball got back to him correctly. 50-metre penalty, took him right to the goal square, and he made no mistake. So terrific kicking by Boyup Brook. 4 straight 24, 3-2 20. We've got just under 2 minutes to go in this opening quarter. Ball's back in the middle. 1 down by Hall. Wins it forward. Tempera soccers it off the ground. Goes out towards Hanson, picks it up. Gets the handball back through the middle in Bleachmore. And they're going forward once again. Over the back is Reeve. Joshua Reeve takes the mark. Has a player wide in Smith running for him. Sits up nicely. Can use Blake East. Not the best handball. Can get it back. Wheels through traffic. Gets onto his left boot. Hanson misses a mark. Spills out the back to Rawson. Rawson gives it back to Strawn. Strawn goes to Demetrio. Demetrio can play on. Lead back to Deanmill. Late stages first quarter. Demetrio gets a goal for himself, courtesy of a nice pass, unselfish from Strawn. So 4-2-26, 2 points the margin in favour of the visitors. So loose checking out the back. Hanson missed the mark. If he took that mark, they were away. And his opponent in Demetrio played it nicely. Strawn seen that option. And Demetrio played on, ran into an open goal. Margin back to 2 points. Just over a minute to go in this opening quarter. Terrific quarter of footy, 8 goals kicked. Ball back in the middle. Hall wins it down once again. Spills out the back towards Patrick Riley. Tries to knock it to his own advantage. Wrapped up in the middle by Baluta. Umpire will come in and throw the ball up. Hall knocks it forward. Ianu's there. Spills over the back. Cleverly does it. Tries to hold his player up. Ball spills out to Hanson. Gets onto his left boot. Reeve knocks the ball out towards Blake East. Under pressure. Handball's loose. Comes to Luke Riley. Has time to assess the situation. Long, strong, Bailey front position. How will it bounce? Bounces past him. Thompson's there. Gives a handball over. Shot on goal. Terrific goal. Daniel DeCoco. I hope I pronounced that correctly. But that was a terrific goal. And Boyup Brook hit the front. 3 seconds to go in the first quarter. 5 goals straight. And what a quarter of footy. Conditions aren't as bad as yesterday. Well, they're not as cold anyway. But 9 goals in the opening quarter of footy. 5 to the home side and 4 to the visitors. That margin now, 4 points, near on quarter time. So ball back in the middle. Hall, up he goes, wins it forward, comes to Ianu, couldn't get his kick away, lucky to get away with it, spills out the back towards Hall. Hall handballs out wide towards Gledhill, tries to break the tackle. Tempera, shot on goal, lands in the chest of Pisotto. 20 metres out, defensive 50. Has a player wide. Hugs the boundary, far side of the ground, looks for Caritis. Goes over the top of his head. Goes out of bounds. Lasso free kick to be taken by Gledhill. At quarter time, Boyup Brook football oval. It sees the home side with a 4-point margin. 5 goals neat, 30. To Deanmill, 4 goals, 2-26. Both of those points kicked let-offs, 30 metres out directly in front. Nadusi got the play underway. Opening centre clearance went Boyup's way. The Riley brothers got involved. Lands on the chest of Nadusi. Luke Riley also got one. Ben Thompson, terrific mark and finish. Caritis, courtesy of a 50-metre penalty. And Nikoko, well, he got one late. And for the visitors, Brock Tempera, Riley Mason, Dylan Baluta, that was courtesy of a 50 as well. And Ethan Demetrio got one apiece. So quarter time, what a terrific game of footy between two teams that have been struggling. The home side without a win at all this season, coming up against Cogent up next week. Well, their opening 25 minutes has been sensational. 5 goals neat, 30. The visitors 4 goals to 26, and we'll be back shortly with the second quarter from Boyup Brook Footy Oval.
Our name is derived from the Greek prefix, macro, large. From the day we were born, this has been a promise for the future. We have grown through dedication, sweat, self-denial, faithful to our mission of being on the side of those who put themselves on the line. Through our name, we celebrate the greatness of those who believe there are no obstacles higher than their dreams. The courage to get back up after falling. The obstinacy of believing until the end. These are the values embedded in our logo. The Macron Hero. It's a celebration of sacrifice and tenacity. Up until your personal victory, until your arms are in the sky. Become your own hero.
So welcome back, Boyup Brook Footy Oval, where the home side, a terrific opening quarter, 5 goals straight, and they lead into quarter time. Now, I'm not sure, I don't follow it super closely, whether they've actually been in front at all this year, but that was a terrific quarter of footy, and they hold a 4-point margin going into this second quarter. Deanmill, they need to man up in the middle. They need to make the most of Hall's dominance in the ruck. And so far, they haven't been able to do so. Right, second quarter underway. Hall blocked out by Bleachmore. Comes towards Rawson. Handball back out towards Beluda. Kicked a goal in that opening quarter. Pushed off of it by Riley. Handball over to Miller. Had a terrific opening quarter as well. Hanson chucks it onto his left boot. Comes back to Hanson off the boot of Bleachmore. Spills out to Bumbara. He also had a terrific opening quarter. Umpire lets the play go on. Back over to Ryan Lloyd. Wields around through the pack. Tries to go wide on the left boot. And misses everything. Goes out of bounds. Free kick to be taken by Anu. Far side of the ground. Player short in Reeve. Brodie Reeve. So just assessing the situation. All leads are covered. Reeve calls his players in. Goes long. Straight down the middle. Looks for Mark Otis. Couldn't take the mark on the second grab. Comes to Rawson. Tries to handball towards Brock Tempera. Ball spills over the boundary line. Ball to be thrown in. 60 metres out from Deanmill's goal. They've got a fight on their hands today. Boyup They're up and about early. Ball to be thrown in. Be Hall up against Bleachmore. Favours Bleachmore. They might have to reload. Umpire says yep. It's tough for everyone out there. Opening shower, first half of that first quarter. Hall wins it out the back. Comes to Mark Otis. Gets the handball over to Ionu. Not sure who he was looking for, but he's found the chest of O'Neill. It was like O'Neill led. Found him lace out. Didn't have to break stride. Goes short. Finds Riley. Luke Riley. Plenty of the footy. And also a goal in that opening quarter. Pushed off his kick. Reeve is there, spills over the back, comes to Brodie Reeve. Pushed in the back by Lloyd. Brodie Reeve wins the free kick. Has Blake East wide. Should take the mark. Centre wing, members side. Goes down there, looks for Strawn. Carries his head up. His head comes to the back to Brock Tempera. Wheels inside. Finds Gledhill. Can take it and run. Decides not to. Half forward line. Calls his player forward, looks for the big frame of Hall. Best position, puts the big limbs up, couldn't take the mark. In comes Strawn, affects a big bump, comes to Rawson. Rawson gets it out to Mark Otis. Mark Otis goes back to Gledhill. Has time to assess, good kick. Mark Otis finds Baluta, must have been touched off the boot. And Mead puts his hand up, second grab, takes the mark, deep in defence. Has a player wide, Patrick Riley. Also had his fair share of the footy. Brother Luke runs for him short. Goes longer. Gledhill goes up. Pisotto puts his mitts up, takes the mark. He wasn't sure himself, Ryan Pisotto. Takes the mark in front of Brodie Reeve. Big spud Pisotto. Long, right in front of the members. Bailey comes over, affects a spoil, but it lands to Bleachmore doing the roving. Drives the ball forward, looks for Thompson. Has Callum East for company. East does well, keeps it in front. Tries to knock it over the boundary, couldn't do so. Comes back to Thompson, then to Joshua Reeve. Has a player short in Hall, has time. High up and under. Hall had enough time to take the mark. And they've cleared the defensive 50. Goes into the corridor, dangerous kick. Lands to Bumbara. Has a player short. That's not the best kick either. Looking there for Thompson. Cleverly taps it up to himself. Sits up nicely. Comes back in board. Mark taken by Wedderburn. Nathaniel Wedderburn. He'll kick from 52 metres out directly in front. This will take his best. Players run past. Wedderburn. Goes long. It's going to land at the top of the square. Stay in play. Thompson puts one hand up. Tries to take it with that hand. Couldn't do so. Then comes in. Affects a tackle on Rayson. Now he's doing the ruck work. Wins it out. Comes back to him. Has a player out wide. Riley. Handball back to Wedderburn. Soccers it off the ground. Still in play. In comes Thompson once again. Running up and down on the same spot. He's done a lot of work down there. Riley keeps it in play. Bumbara puts it to the top of the square. Caritis is there. Racing comes over the top. Misses the ball. Lands back towards Caritis. They're under extreme pressure. Handball from Bailey puts Reeve under pressure. Racing gets it back to East. Better play by the defence of the Hawks. Finds Gledhill. Goes wide, hugs the boundary, looking for Brown. Sits up nicely, tries to go around the player. And couldn't do so. The free kick will go the way of Knapp. 2 kicks out from goal. Zach Knapp. Brown stands the mark. Goes long. Stay in play, top of the square. A big spoil comes over. The free kick's been paid. It'll go to Callum East. Has Blake East wide. Finds him. Now they can switch the play. Brodie Reeve, he's found some space. It's all about the next kick. Good kick too. Finds Rawson. They've cleared defensive 50. Blake Rawson. High, up and under. Looks for Ianu. Gets his player under the ball. Spills out the back. Nice pick up too from Ianu. But it's cut off. Comes back in. Second effort. Handball over towards Tempera. Couldn't pick the ball up. Now it lands with Riley. Comes inboard, finds Bleachmore. Centre of the ground. Big Benji Bleachmore. Player short, Caritis. Gledhill stands the mark. Caritis looks for Lloyd. Touched. Takes the mark anyway. Drives it to the top of the square. East is there with Thompson. Makes a spoil. Then Thompson comes in. Puts a tackle on Joshua Reeve. Ball to be thrown up. 35 out from Boyup's goal. East does the ruck work. Over to Bailey. Taps it up cleverly. That's Hall doing the ruck roving work. Kicks it to his opposition in Bleachmore. Taps it out towards Riley. Wrapped up by Tempera. Umpire to throw the ball up. Half forward line. Boyup Brook, no score so far in this second quarter to either team. High up and under from Jansen. Spills over towards Bailey. Puts it out into open space to Ianu. Sits up nicely. Can handball to East. He's got time. It's all about this next kick. Strawn works off the back of the pack. Gets front position. Well done, Strawn. Takes a mark in front of O'Neill. And will kick 20 metres out. Slight angle. They're making hard work of it. Ianu did well. And finally, Strawn found some space. He'll go back for his first. And he comes now. Jordan Strawn kicks on its way. Beautiful kick too from Strawn. So the visitors hit the front. Opening score, the second quarter goes the way of Strawn. 2 points the margin. Yeah, terrific game of footy on our hands here. I'm not sure, but it's just like Deanmill are thinking about next week before getting past this one. Always a danger game. The team hasn't won a game for the whole year. They see this as a potential win, and they are right in this. Ball back in the middle. Hall wins it over the top of Bleachmore. Spills out the back to Bumbara. Gets the handball over to Riley. That's Patrick Riley. Breaks the tackle of Beluda. Goes in the middle of the ground. But Blake East is there and takes the mark in front of Lloyd. Has Gledhill out wide. Goes that way. Good kick too. Finds Gledhill. Centre wing. Caritis stands the mark. Goes wide, looking for Marcotis. Proving to be a really good option across half forward. Goes looking for Strawn. Good kick. Marcotis takes the mark. Strawn in front of O'Neill, right on 50. Has Demetrio in the pocket. Demetrio takes the mark. 35 metres out. Tight angle. Ethan Demetrio. 1 goal in that first quarter. They work well together, Strawn and Demetrio. And this will take his best kick. Ethan Demetrio. In he comes now. Crosses the boundary. Kicks on its way. Not his best. He's hooked that. Out of bounds on the full. Mead will take the free kick. If you're not sure, put it to the top of the square. And Fraser Mead will take the free kick right on the goal line. Was his team 2 points down. Still 11 and a half minutes to go in this second quarter. Comes towards the members' side. Over the top come Lloyd. In the end, probably spoiled his own player in Bleachmore. Umpire to throw the ball in. 60 metres out from Deanmill's goal. Hall to do the ruck work. Bleachmore this time wins it down. Comes to Marcotis. Has East out the back of the pack. Tries to duck around the tackle. Caritis come in. Umpire says no prior. Ball to be thrown up. Posado does the ruck work. Gets Hall out of the way. Comes towards Caritis. He's still there. Beluda's on the ground. In comes Bumbara once again. Big tackle from Gledhill. Ties him up. Groundhog Day. Ball to be thrown up. Same spot. Hall. Bleachmore. Hall wins it down towards Reeve. Good tap too. Sits up nicely. Gets onto his left boot. Looks for Twite. Takes a mark. He's just inside the boundary line. Players push back. Strawn's there. 1-on-1. Goes that way. Holds its line. Good kick. One grab. Spills over the goal line. Off the hands of Strawn. Through for a minor score. Nearly carried all the way there from Twite. Hansen will reload for the home side. Only 1 goal scored in this second quarter, and that's to the visitors. It gave them back the lead. Hansen goes long. Demetrio tries to affect the spoil, does so in front of Mead. Mead comes back in, lays the tackle. Umpire to throw the ball up right on 50. Hall, Bleachmore. No ruckman, wins it down, comes back to Hall, spills out the back towards Marcotis. High, up and under. Tempera, best position. Takes an uncontested mark, 45 metres out. Needs to kick the goal. And Boyup Brook have got the numbers back now. Definitely got the leg, Brock Tempera. He'll kick 45 metres out. Greater than a 45-degree angle. In he comes now, kicks on its way. It's going to stay in play, goes across the field of goal. Beluda comes off his hands. In comes Pasotto. Out of bounce on the full. Come off the boot of Pasotto. Free kick will go the way of Beluda. Exactly the same spot as where Demetrio had a shot a couple of minutes prior. Already with a goal to his name, Beluda. So Dylan Beluda. In he comes now. Pasotto stands the mark. Kicks on its way. It's going to go across. It'll stay in play. All hands go up. Rush through for a minor score. So a few let-offs. Tough to kick goals from the pockets here. Hansen to bring the ball back into play. Runs outside the goal square. Goes short. Has options. Carries over the top of Miller. Ducked his head right at the inopportune time. Comes to Ianu. To Heverington. To Brock Tempera. Goes wide. Demetrio right on 50. Needs to get it in quick. Ethan Demetrio. Drives the ball long. Top of the square. Mason will come from 3 deep. Pasotto knocks the ball down. Brown's there. Spills out. Under pressure. Riley. They get it out now. Hansen over the head. Lands okay. In the arms of Miller. It's tackled. Dropping the ball. Free kick. Beluda. Lucky. Dylan Beluda. 50 metres out from goal. Goes long. It'll land at the top of the square. Over the top they come, and a terrific mark's been taken by Mason. Riley Mason. Over the top of O'Neill. He'll kick 15 metres out directly in front. And this to increase the margin. Game high, 10 points. Mason comes in now. Mark, goal. No mistake from Mason. So Mason gets his second. They're making hard work of it, the Hawks. But the margin now, 10 points. All the play, I need to play that corridor maybe just a little bit more. They go to 6-4-40, 5 straight. Boyup Brook 30. They haven't moved since quarter time. Only 2 goals of this second quarter, the way of Deanmill. So ball back in the middle. Hall goes up, couldn't win it down cleanly. Comes to Luke Riley, runs straight into Hall, wraps him up. Umpire will come in, do it all over again. Hall wins it long, goes to Reeve, good tap too, high, up and under. Strawn sets himself. Mason come over the top, it spills back out. East in best position, that's Blakis, takes it and goes. Wide, looking for Demetrio, has time. Good grab from Demetrio. Did he keep it in play? Does so. Takes the mark in front of Knapp. Already had a shot from here not so long ago. Wasn't his best kick. 30 metres out, tight angle. Ethan Demetrio. 1 in the first quarter. In it goes now. He's done a fraction better. 1 behind. So they're peppering away. They've had all the play for most of this second quarter. They've only got 2 goals to show for it. We've got 7 minutes to go before half time. Hansen to bring the ball back into play. Nicholas Hansen Assesses his options. Runs out of the goal square. Gains a couple of metres. Looks for Bleachmore. Over the back. Hall takes the mark on the second grab. Goes inside the corridor. Mason comes from behind. Good kick from Hall too. Good lead. Mason takes the mark. He'll kick from 45 directly in front. This to get the lead out to 17 points. Just starting to flex their muscle a little bit now, the visitors. Riley Mason. Crosses 50. In he comes. Kicks on its way. He's got a fair piece of that. Does it hold its line? It doesn't. Through for a minor score. Terrific kick by the ruckman in Hall. Honoured that lead from Mason. Mason couldn't finish. Margin now, 13 points. Hanson, once again, runs out of the square. That's a better kick from Hanson. He finds Bumbara outside 50, defensive 50. Archie Bumbara goes in the middle of the ground. Dangerous, not his best kick either. Cut off by Baluta. Baluta gives a handball to Blake East. Not sure who he was looking for. Mark Otis. He has Pasotto there. In comes Caritas. Could have been taken high. Umpire lets the play go on. Mark Otis gets himself in front. Ball still in play to Brown. Eventually crosses the boundary line. Ball to be thrown in. 5.5 minutes to go in this first half of footy. Margin 13 points. Hall wins it over the back. Comes to Riley. He's got East for company. Ball still in dispute. Wedderburn comes in. It was Mead. Umpire says, give it to me. This time Bleachsport gets Hall out of the way, but it goes straight to Heverington. Picks it up now. Gets a handball over to East. Will it sit up? Does so, out of bounds. As Hanson takes the mark deep. Ball's got to come back to be thrown in. Just outside forward 50. 6 goals, 7, 43. 5 straight. Boyup Brook yet to hit the scoreboard in this second quarter. Hall up against Bleachsport. Hall wins it down. Comes to Riley. Spills out the back towards Twite. Handball towards East. He's under pressure straight away. No prior. Mead was there. Ties him up. 40 metres out. Hall. One down by Bleachmore. Straight to Twite. High up and under. 30 metres out again. Comes to Mason. Proving to be dangerous down there. Mason over to Hall. Just chucks it onto his left boot. And through for another minor score. Wasting a few opportunities. Basically the last 10 minutes has been played in Deanmill's forward half. And they've only got 2 goals to show for it. 2 goals, 5. Hanson to reload. Under 5 minutes to go now. First half. Hanson goes wide. He looks for Luke Riley. Sits up nicely for him. It's crossed the boundary beforehand. Free kick will go the way of Smith. High up and under. Mason will come from a couple deep. And he takes a terrific mark in front of Pasotto. It looked like Pasotto was going to take the mark and Mason just cut in front. One grab. Kick from 30 metres out. This for his third. Providing a solid option. In he comes now. Kicks on its way. Umpire does some work, but he's done enough. So Mason gets his third. Courtesy of a terrific mark. The big hands of Pasotto. It looked like it was going to wrap that ball up. So they've got goal number 3 for the second quarter. So 7 goals, 7, 49, 19 points the margin. And 5 goals straight, but they've yet to trouble the scorers in this second quarter. With just under 4 minutes to go. So for all the good work they've done, they just can't get it forward to give themselves a decent shot on goal, the home side. But if they can get 1 or 2 back here before half time, they're right back in this. Ball back in the middle, just waiting for Posado to move forward. Hall wins it down again. Comes out the back towards East. Free kick's been paid. Goes to Luke Riley. Over the shoulder. Middle of the ground. Goes long. Bailey sets himself, puts himself in front of Thompson. Takes a courageous mark. Goes wide. Good kick too. Finds East. Takes the mark in front of Riley. Blake East. Gets onto his left boot. This is a kick. Not his best kick. Lands in the arms of Benjamin Wedderburn. Been called to play on. Goes back to where it come from. Finds Riley. Umpire's paid the mark. He's made a mistake, the umpire. It's okay. We all do. Ball to be thrown up. Middle of the ground. Hall to do the ruck work. Up against Wedderburn. Knocks it over the back. Spills towards Bumbara. Having the game of his life. Gledhill picks it up. Nice bounce for him. Goes wide. Looks for Brown. Finds him far side of the ground. Brown, player short and Beluda. High up and under. Over the top comes Bumbara. Affects the spoil. Ball goes out of bounds. Centre wing. Far side of the ground. 19 points the margin. Closing in on half time. Hall gets front position. Wins it towards the corridor. Asking for his players to run onto it. They do so. Handball comes out to Rawson. Wrapped up by Riley straight away. Wins a free kick. Luke Riley. Has brother Pat through the middle. Grabs it and goes straight down the middle. Looks for Thompson. Thompson's got the edge on East. Callum East takes a mark. Ben Thompson. He'll kick from 45. Slight angle. And this to get opening score for the home side, but it'll draw that margin back to just over 2 goals. In he comes now, Thompson. Kicks on its way, holds its line. Good kick, Thompson. Start of opportunities, makes no mistake after a great lead and mark. So the home side get one back. Terrific kicking. 6 goals straight, 36. I've got it at 7-7, 7-6. So 12 points the margin. 48. And Thompson got a turn of speed. A terrific delivery from Patrick Riley. That was after the pass from Luke Riley. Hall wins it forward once again towards Blake East. Picks the ball up, cuts through the middle. He'll drive it long. Top of the square. They go. Not sure if Demetrio. He might have marked that in the end, Demetrio. Play on, not paid. Snaps, truly, goal, Demetrio. Possibly could have bounced off the back of his opponent's head, but everyone stopped thinking it was a mark. Demetrio played on. He gets his second. Instant reply to Deanmill. Good centre clearance. Hall, East. Long top of the square. 10 metres out. Demetrio put it through. 2 for him. 4 to Deanmill in the second quarter to 1. Margin back out to 18 points. There's still a lot of merit in playing the corridor. Ruckman go up once again. It's one down by Hall, straight to Riley, wrapped up by East. Umpire blows his whistle straight away. Throws the ball up. One looks there. Hall looked for Reeve. Comes out the back towards Beluda. Beluda could have given the free kick away. Bumbara, bottom of the pack. In he comes. Ball to be thrown up once again. It's Finlay picking himself up off the bottom of the pack. Hall just punches it forward. Twite's there. Riley picks it up, drives the ball forward. Best positions racing. Courageous from the youngster, but it spills out to Caritis. Good pickup. Has a bounce, mind you. Gledhill closes. Tries to get the handball over to Finlay. Comes out to Posado. Handball back to Riley. Patrick Riley goes looking for Thompson. Beluda's given away a relay free kick. And Ben Thompson will be the recipient of that. He'll kick 35 out, 45-degree angle. This for his third. Goal for goal, late stages, second quarter. Ben Thompson And he comes, kicks on its way. Good kick too, Thompson. He gets his third. Relay free kick. Made no mistake. Margin back to 12 points. Less than a minute to go in this opening half. Just can't afford to do that, whether it was there or not. But Thompson didn't care about that. He went back and kicked truly. And he's got 3 first half goals along with Mason. Dimitrio's got a couple. The ball back in the middle. Up goes Hall. Wins it forward towards Beluda. Lays a big tackle on Riley. Patrick Riley. Umpire to throw the ball up. Middle of the ground. Hall wins it forward. So half time. Boyup Brook Football Oval. The clash between Boyup Brook and Deanmill sees the visitors take a 12-point lead into the second half. Thompson with a couple of late goals. They never looked like kicking a goal for most of that quarter. But Ben Thompson stepped up. He kicked 2 late goals. He's got 3 for the half. Nadusi got the opening goal of the game. Riley's got 1. Karitis with 1. And DeSisho, we're not sure how to pronounce that name, but that was a terrific goal. They've got 7 straight. They're 42. And for the visitors, well, Tempered's got 1. Riley Mason has got 3, 2 in that second quarter. Beluda with 1. Dimitrio with 2, 1 in each quarter. And Storm with 1 as well. We'll be back shortly for the second half where the visitors hold a slender 12-point lead and Boyup Brook are providing a very, very good challenge. We'll be back shortly with the second half from the Boyup Brook Footy Oval.
The relationship with Great Southern Fuels started with my father 50 years ago, delivering fuel in drums back in the day, which has progressed into large tanks now. They've been very reliable and efficient on time with service.
We run a mixed farming operation here on Chapman Valley, just north of Geraldton, managing about 5,500 hectares. We've been with what is now Great Southern Fuels for in excess of 20 years. There's always challenges and situations that catch you out, and they've been really, really good at accommodating that for us.
We've been with Great Southern for 28 years now. Look, they've given us exceptional service and the price competitive. So it's wonderful.
They're a great company to work for. They're a family-owned business. They will support you and whatever is required.
I've got Alan's phone number, I've got Steve's phone number, and I know if I ring it, I'll get an answer, which is really cool.
The relationship's great and the service is second to none. So I ring up and it doesn't matter if it's Saturday, Sunday or whenever I ring up, I'll have fuel. So we've never been held up or had a problem with them. So my theory is that's what I'm about. It's about service and the relationship, and it's been fantastic.
It's very important to maintain long-term customers' loyalty and give back what you can when you can.
Great Southern Fuels is one of the few companies that I've been involved with that gives so much back to the local community. We support so many different organisations and country, sporting clubs, field days, farming organisations.
We endeavour to give back. The community looked after us by dealing with us, and we just gave it back in what we could do. Footy club needs a hand, well, it's because they need a hand that you give it to, not the other way around.
When you look at how they conduct themselves in the community, they've been a great supporter of the Livestock Transporters Association. Just incredible what they do.
I do a lot for the community, which is good. And not only Lake Race either, it's right through where all these outlets are all over the state. He's been excellent with that.
We tend to sponsor major events, the Great Southern Football Carnival, Colts Carnival.
Across the board, I think sponsorships are a very important part of any community. I grew up in Lake Grace and footy was my life down there for a long time. Great Southern sponsored Lake Grace back then, and along with many other footy clubs and hockey clubs and tennis clubs. And we might not always be making a big deal out of it, but the people that get sponsored, they understand and they they relate to it.
They do a lot for the town, so yeah, I can't fault them. You know, they've been brilliant.
Great Southern Fuels have got strong values, and that shows in what they do. You know, they walk the talk and they do what they do.
You deal with people that are there and care about your business, and these people have been absolutely wonderful.
I'm very proud of what Mum and Dad have achieved in their life and how they've structured the business, and it's all structured around our customers and looking after people and being in the right areas where we need to sell the fuel and have the support there and sponsorship, being part of the community, even though we're not in that community, but our workers are there and that's part of us.
Our name is derived from the Greek prefix, macro, large. From the day we were born, this has been a promise for the future. We have grown through dedication, sweat, self-denial, faithful to our mission of being on the side of those who put themselves on the line. Through our name, we celebrate the greatness of those who believe there are no obstacles higher than their dreams. The courage to get back up after falling. The obstinacy of believing until the end. These are the values embedded in our logo. The Macron Hero. It's a celebration of sacrifice and tenacity. Up until your personal victory, until your arms are in the sky. Become your own hero.
Welcome back to Boyup Brook Football Oval. Very, very good clash between the home side Boyup Brook, who've kicked 7 straight. And conditions look amazing. A little bit of a shower in that first quarter. The ball got quite slippery. So they're 7 goals straight, 42. Deanmill are 8 goals, 7, 55. So 13 points the margin. Just about to start the second half. Deanmill are going to have to straighten up. Dominated for most of that second quarter, but most of their shots come from wide out. And once they got inside that corridor, the goals looked after themselves. So before the game starts, players in position. We'll just go through our sponsors that make this happen. Great Southern Fuels, Avcrete, Delta Ag, Kimberley Accommodation Group, UDF Trailers, Corrigan Hotel, Wild Gravel, Alum Lube, Dartfish, Archie's, Omnibus, Classic Clashes, Gallagher, Premium Grains for all your grain needs. Go and see Premium Grains. Management Gateway Hotel and Pemberton Hotel. Now this bloke owes me a beer because I give him a spiel every week. I know he does a terrific job. But as we said, good meal, cold beer and advice whether you want it or not from Big Paul Chookie Fowler. Also thanks to Management Tyre Power, who are a terrific sponsor of the Lower South West Footy League. Players in position, 13 points the margin. Second half, Boyup Brook looking to get their first win of the season. If they're good enough, they're close enough. Bumbara's been terrific. Didn't start the game in the middle of the ground. Moves in there now. The Riley boys also. And Thompson down forward providing a big target after Nadusi. He's out for the game. Done a hamstring early stage that second quarter. Umpire just about ready to get the ball underway. We could possibly be waiting for the goal umpire. Do we know who that is, Mrs. Juice?
No, I don't.
Oh, I think it's to your right. Might be one of yours.
Oh, yeah, Jay Martin.
Yeah, we thought we'd give him a spin. He said he's going to make a comeback next year. He's got 10 more years in him. Whether that's league or resis or both, not sure. Jay Chookie Martin. Umpire holds the ball aloft. Second half underway, uncontested, 1 down by Boyup Brook. Spills back out to Wedderburn, drives the ball onto his boot, socket off the ground, spills into the arms of Brodie Reeve, tries to pick the ball out, comes to Marr. In dispute, inside 50, Miller wrapped up straight away by Ianu. Umpire to throw the ball up, forward 50, Boyup's way. Ruck works 1 down, comes to Mark Otis, handball over to Ianu, goes wide, middle of the ground, good kick, finds Strawn, too far out to score. Looks down forward for East, Blake East, who's moved forward, takes a mark right on 50, plays on, wheels onto his left boot. How will it bounce for East? Bounces through, luckily. Opening score, second half, goes the way of the visitors. The captain gets the opening goal, Blake East from 50. So he gets his name on the scoreboard. The kick didn't look the best, but the end result's the same. It's what he wanted. Bounced through in the goal square. Good work on the far side of the ground by Markotis and Ianu. Spotted up Strawn on a searching lead. Strawn found East. End result, goal, opening score, third quarter, the way of the Hawks. Hall wins it down, looks there for Markotis in the middle of the ground, comes to Riley, chucks it onto his boot. Pisotto playing forward. He's got Brodie Reeve for company, drops the ball in, knocks it out. It'll favour Tempera, picks it up nicely. Goes to Ianu, gets onto his left boot, lands on the chest of Patrick Riley, far side of the ground. Goes wide, looking for brother Luke. It's a good contested mark. Under pressure from Markotis. Plays on, puts it to the top of the square. Pisotto lets it bounce in front of him. Tries to get his boot to ball, misses it right at the top of the square. They keep it in Deanmill, could have rushed it through, comes out towards Glenhill. Knocks it out, snap on goal. Smothered by Reeve, comes back to him. High up and under. I think he's kicked a point. I'm sure he was looking for Rawson. It's probably the best result, and they can reload. Calamity of errors, deep in defence. Brodie Reeve plays on, clears the 50, looks for East, has 2 or 3 to beat. Meads there, comes out to Riley. It's not Riley, it's Scott Marr. Boombara, been terrific. High up and under. Spoil comes in. They have the numbers. Pasotto gets Tempera out of the way. Handballs back to Riley. Tackled. Manages to get a kick away to Miller. Sits up. He's tackled straight away. Ripped off it by Ianu. Drives it on the far side of the ground. Mason will be first to the ball. How will it sit for him? Keeps the ball in play. Holds his feet. Spills back to Riley. Looking there for Hanson. Misses his target. Goes over the boundary line. Smith to take the free kick. Skills have dropped off at the half-time break from both sides. Middle of the ground. Hanson's there. Can't get a handle on it. Deft little kick comes out to Bailey. He can do the same. Now Luke Riley gets it over to Marr. Just pops it onto his boot. Tempera picks it up nicely. Goes wide. Finds Ianu. Getting plenty of the ball early stages. Third quarter. Good kick too. Demetrio takes the mark on his chest. 2 kicks out from goal. Plays on. Big hands, Wedderburn. Couldn't take the mark. Patrick Riley tries to knock it to his own advantage. Ianu's there. Tackle comes in from Baluta. Handball comes back to Wedderburn. Pushed off his handball just as he was about to let it go. Hall's there. Handball to Ianu. Tries to break the tackle of Riley. Could be in trouble. No, says the umpire. Free. The ball to be thrown up. 2 kicks out from Deanmill's goal. One out the back. It'll favour Miller. Took his time picking it up. He's tackled heavily by Marcotis. The free kick's been paid for a sling tackle. Young Rory Miller did play a season at Deanmill. Goes wide. Finds Mark. Has player short. Miller's run on. Takes the mark. And maintaining possession. Goes even shorter. Finds Patrick Riley. So they haven't gained much meterage. They still maintain possession of the footy. Patrick Riley called to play on. Gets around the man on the mark. Comes in the middle. Looks for Luke. If that hasn't happened once, it's happened 20 times today. Deanmill should be aware of that. Luke Riley takes the mark. Goes short. And finds Marr again. So centre wing, far side of the ground. 17 points to margin. This time they go long, high up and under. In they come. East is there. Breaks a couple of tackles. Sells a little bit of candy too, he does. Blake East. Far side of the ground. Looking there for Tempera. He misses the mark. Puts himself under pressure. Comes out to Ianu. Open space. Demetrio. Strawn. Demetrio does well. Holds his feet. Kicks on goal. How will it bounce? Bounce, bounce through. Minor score. So not the prettiest footy compared to what we've seen in the first half, but still a terrific game. 1 goal in favour of Deanmill through Blake East. Only major so far of this third quarter. Luke Riley, searching lead. Rawson runs past him, spills out the back to Baluta. Can go back to Rawson, decides to go longer. Good kick too. Blake East takes the mark overhead. Bleachmore come in, kept his eye on the footy. Did East, takes the mark. Will go back for his second. 15 metres out, directly in front. So push forward in this third quarter. Blake East, in he comes now. Left footer, kicks on its way. Straight as you like. He's got 2. That margin grows a little bit more every time Deanmill go forward. So terrific kick from Baluta. Blake Rawson, good contest, ran past Riley, knocked the ball forward, spilled out to Baluta. Baluta could have went back to Rawson, but decided to go longer, top of the square. And East found himself with some space, even though Bleachmore was coming in, held on to the mark, made no mistake from 15 metres out, directly in front. 10 goals, 8, 68, 25 points to margin. Early stages, third quarter, Hall wins it down. Temporal run on, gives a handball over to Marcotis, gets around Caritis, Put it to the top of the square. East in front possession. Could have been pushed out of the way. No. Hanson takes the mark. Hanson goes wide and finds Mead. Mead being called to play on. Finds Luke Riley. Right on defensive 50. Watch for brother Pat. High, up and under. Pisotto, spoilt by Reeve. Good spoil. Spills out the front. Wedderburn. Handballs back inside to Riley. Cuts through the middle of the ground and finds Lloyd. Right in the middle. Ryan Lloyd. He goes short and finds Wedderburn. Nathaniel Wedderburn. So they're doing well. It's this kick now. They'll look for Thompson. Goes shorter and finds Lloyd. Right on 50. He'll put it to the top of the square. Thompson's got to come from behind. Sport by East. Comes to Tempera. Tempera goes by hand to Gledel. Gledel can use Rawson. Decides to go longer. Looks for Bailey. Falls over. Then it pops up nicely for him. Justin Bailey. He couldn't do that again. Not his best kick. Lands on the chest of Hanson. Right at halfback. Hanson, middle of the ground. Mark's taken by Wedderburn. Nathaniel Wedderburn in front of Hall. He'll go long. Runs around the man on the mark. His best kick. Mark cut off by Rayson inside defensive 50. Player wide in Ianu. Good start to the third quarter by him. Goes wider. Centre wing. Far wing. East. Goes down looking for Demetrio. Better use of the footy by the Hawks. Outside 50. Plays on. Looking for Strawn. Front position. Interfered with as he went for the mark by O'Neill. And Strawn will have a shot on goal. 30 metres out. Tight angle. It's better use of the footy from defence. It's given Strawn an opportunity to kick Deanmill's third for the third quarter. He'll come in 30 metres out, tight angle. Looking for his second. In he comes now. Kicks on its way. Go across. East in good position. Takes the mark. But over the goal line, minus score. Another let off for the Roos. The Hanson will reload once again. It's a pity we don't have a big screen because I don't reckon Justin Bailey could do that ever again in his whole life. Hanson brings it in, goes short, finds Karitis, drops the mark, puts himself under pressure, has time, will go short, good kick, Karitis, finds Marr, still inside defensive 50. Marr, Karitis runs on, well done, just carries 15, takes the mark, goes short, marked by Riley, contested, goes in the middle of the ground. And Benjamin Wedderburn takes the mark in front of Hall. Right in the middle of the Boyup Brook footy oval. Goes long, strong, searching lead by Thompson. Finds the wheels, takes the mark. Right on 50. Bumbara runs towards the goal square. The ball hangs up in the air. Good spoil. Soccer off the ground by Lloyd. And through for a goal. So Ryan Lloyd got himself in the right position, got his boot to ball, and he gets his name on the scoreboard. Yeah, the cheer squad's here. Just remember, this will be seen and heard as Ryan Lloyd, good spoil by Tempera, pushed himself back. The ball sat up in the air on Bumbara. They had the numbers, but Lloyd was there and socketed it through from 2 metres out. That margin, 19 points. 11 minutes to go in the third quarter. Hall up against Wedderburn. Knocks it forward. Straight to Tempera. Tackled. Comes back to Riley. Wrapped up by Marcotis. High. Free kick. Riley. Luke Riley. Middle of the ground. Leads come. Waiting for the best option. Luke Riley. Goes short. You won't believe this. He's hit his brother, Patrick Riley. Patrick Riley goes looking for Thompson. Mark taken. Play on. Ball's kicked out by Scott Mark. Twite. First one back. Has a player wide in Tempera. Good kick too. Finds him. Can take it and go. Does so. Looks down for Hall. He's found some space. Takes the mark. Centre wing. Members side. As Wedderburn stands the mark. Gets onto his left boot. Looking there for Strawn. How will it sit? Tries to keep it in. Cleverly knocks it over the boundary. Ball to be thrown in. 65 metres out from Deanmill's goal. Just under 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. 19 points the margin. Hall reaches over the top. Comes to Patrick Riley. Managed to get his kick away. Tackled. Handball from Twight looking for Rawson. Does so nicely. Interesting looking kick, but it spills out the back. Shot on goal from Ianu. Is it on target? It is from Ianu. From 50 metres, Tim Ianu. He hits the goal scoring from range. So 3-1 in this third quarter in favour of Deanmill. They just seem to have all the answers so far. They've had some terrific bounces too. You wouldn't think the ball would sit up like that. But Patrick Riley, he's put off his kick by Baluta. Rawson done well. Found Ianu, crosses 50. The ball bounced through for a goal. Back in the middle. Hall up against Wedderburn. Hall once again wins it down. East now has moved into the middle. Lays a tackle on Luke Riley. Umpire to throw the ball up. Hall tries to knock it out. Next time Wedderburn on the second attempt wins it out. Comes to Tempera. Pushed off it. In they come now. Ball goes long. Carries over the top. Reeve will be first back. Puts his head over the ball. Gets the handball out to Brodie Reeve. Over to Twight. Has a player short in Rawson. Will it stay in? Riley, with the help of Rawson, sees the ball over the boundary line. Be thrown in right in front of the Deanmill interchange box. 9 minutes to go in this third quarter. 25 points the margin. Slowly increasing that lead. Thrown in. Hall wins it over the back. Looking for Tempera. Couldn't take clean possession. Comes to Lloyd. Wrapped up by Baluta. Therese Lloyd, that was, if you heard that. I can't own up to that, and my voice doesn't sound like that. Umpire just throws it up. Have to let it go. Both ruckmen couldn't go up. Luke Riley, handball to Patrick Riley. Hits racing. Has Ianu out wide. Has a bounce. Can have another one. Decides not to. Goes wide looking for Demetrio. Over the top come Knapp. Front and centre. Knapp comes in. Puts a tackle on. Comes to Hanson. Cleverly tries to get it over to Miller. But Ianu stands his ground. Takes the mark. Goes to East. Centre wing. Calls his player forward. Goes long. Good kick. He can take it and go. Demetrio does so. Drives it home. Another one to the Hawks. Margin 31 points. Demetrio gets goal number 3. It's just turnovers are costly. Ianu has made that far wing his own in this third quarter. It's been terrific. But superb kick from Blake East. Demetrio peeled off the back of the pack and found some open space and ran into an open goal and made no mistake. 8 goals, 149. Brook, 12 goals, 880. 31 points the margin. 8 minutes to go in this third quarter. They need a goal here at the home side. Up they go. One down by Hall. In comes the rain. Handball comes out towards East. He's got Luke Riley for attention. Tempera's there. Hanson missed him. Tempera gets his kick away. Demetrio kicks it in. Unselfishly handballs to Strawn. Strawn snap. Left boot. Goal! They're starting to open this game up now. 5 goals to 1 in this third quarter. And knowing Ethan Demetrio as I do, would have been fighting his demons to handball that one over, but unselfishly did so. Gave it to Strawn. And Strawn made it look harder than what it was. Put it through 15 metres out on the left boot. They just need to Get a couple before 3/4 time. They've been terrific today so far, Boyup Brook. Just need that opportunity, bit of goal scoring pressure. Hall wins it down once again. Comes to Patrick Riley, wrapped up by Beluda. Manages to get his kick away. Bumbara comes in, could have been tackled high. Tempera's there. Umpire lets the play go on. Lloyd already kicked the goal. Thought he was going to sell a little bit of candy then. Handball's over to Mead. Socket off the ground by Mark Otis. O'Neill will be first back. In comes Demetrio, outnumbered 2-1. If he can hold this up, he's done well. Umpire lets the play go on. Ball still in dispute. Comes back to Demetrio. He's still there. Handball over. Now they're out. Umpire's seen a free kick. Demetrio's done well. Second and third effort. Wins a free kick. I think it was for a sling. You kick from 45 metres out, tight angle. Miller stands the mark. This for goal number 4. Will take his best. There won't be a handball here, I can assure you. In comes Demetrio. Crosses 50. Kicks on its way. It's going to land at the top of the square. In they come. Plenty of numbers from both sides. Trying to keep it in. Beluda rushed over the line. Minor score. Hanson the reload for the Roos. Nicholas Hanson, beautiful kick of the footy. Goes wide, far side of the ground, looks for Wedderburn. Good kick, good mark too. Benjamin Wedderburn. Well outside defensive 50. Goes inboard, finds Mead. No one stands the mark. He can play on here, Mead. Does so. Gains a few metres. Beluda come in, put him off his kick. That lands on the chest of Rawson. Rawson goes wide, finds Gledall right in front of the members. Gledall has Bailey. Bailey takes the mark, can go to Brodie Reeve, does so, puts him under pressure, diving mark, chest mark taken by Brodie Reeve. He'll kick from 50, it'll take his best. Brodie Reeve, he'll look for options, doesn't kick a lot of goals. Brodie Reeve, right behind this one, 45-degree angle. Gets to 50, kicks on its way, he's hit the ground. It might end up all right. We could say a pass. But Dylan Beluda, just in front, he's ready for the crumb. It's landed in his arms. From 25 out, 45-degree angle, Beluda to go back and get another one for the visitors. Margin, 38 points. Beluda. And he comes now, kicks on its way, not his best. Through for a minor score. The margin increases just by 1 point. 39 points the margin. 5 minutes to go in this third quarter. Hanson will bring the ball back in. He'll go long. Has a player in Wedderburn. Puts his big levers up. Misses everyone. Comes over the back. Rawson's there. Just pops it onto his boot. Puts it back to where it come from. Outnumbered 4-1. And Strawn takes the mark. Behind O'Neill. It just landed in his arms. 35 out. Strawn. This for goal number 3. This to get that margin out to 45 points. It's in now. Couple of steps, kicks on its way, close to the man on the mark. Margin 45 points. Strawn has his third. And for all the good work they've done in the first half, it's slipping away now for the home side. Super convincing, the visitors, but they're making the most of their opportunities up forward. And they've kicked 6 goals in this third quarter to 1. And margin with 4 minutes to go is at 45 points, ever increasing. As Hall has a rest in the ruck, Twite goes in. Up against Thompson. Thompson wins it down to Riley. That's Luke wrapped up straight away. Umpire says, give it to me. This time Bleachmore does the ruck work. Wins it down, comes to Riley, cuts through the middle, goes long, strong, goes over the top of Thompson as Reese come in. spills out the back to Reeve, has a player wide, gets around a couple. His teammate Smith under pressure, goes through his legs. Miller will be first back for the home side, tries to do a fancy step around and was taken high in the process. He might have sold himself his own dummy there, Miller. He's received a free kick, been good today, young Rory Miller. This time he does the trick, puts it to the top of the square, carries over everyone, out of bounds on the full. Free kick goes to the youngster in racing for the Hawks. Gets it outside 50, good looking kick. East pushed under the ball, spills out the back to Bumbara. He's been terrific. Rawson's there, couldn't get a handle on it. Bumbara does well, gets it onto his boot. And the mark's taken by Lloyd in front of Reeve, outside 50. Looks for Thompson, carries over him. And the youngster racing takes the mark. Good mark too, 3 deep. Goes back to where it come from. Dwight flies. Mark goes through his hand. It was uncontested. Miller, once again, been terrific. Looks for Caritis. Reeve gets in front. Brody knocks the ball forward. Spills back to Caritis. As the umpire see this, plays for the free kick. They're under pressure on the far side of the ground. Smith outnumbered. In comes Lloyd. Gets around Smith. Drives it back towards the top of the square. Thompson takes the mark. Reeve fell over Brody. And Ben Thompson held his feet, took the mark, will kick from 35 metres out directly in front. And this for his 4th. So really filling the void after Nadusi went off in that second quarter. Thompson, in he comes, should be no problem. Is no problem. Thompson gets goal number 4. And they get one back. One goal in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third to Ben Thompson. It's a beautiful kick of the footy. Held his feet. So just held his feet there, Ben Thompson, and took the mark as Reeve fell over. The ball back in the middle. 1.5 minutes to go in this third quarter. 39 points the margin. Bleachmore wings it down, enjoying that Hall's not in there. Bleachmore comes back, second effort, spills out. Now he's wrapped up by Reeve. Umpire lets it go, he's in trouble. And Joshua Reeve wins a free kick, middle of the ground. It's going to go wide. Dwight makes the lead very wide. Is it going to stay in play? Does so. Dwight falls over. Riley comes in, goes back in. I'm not saying it. Luke Riley. It was just in reverse this time. Bleachmore takes the mark, centre wing. Worked tirelessly today. Bleachmore, long, strong, looking for Caritis. Asking a fair bit of the little fella. Does well. Gets little underneath the ball, but it comes back out to racing. Drives it back into open space. Sits nicely. Heverington gets it to Reeve. Good smother by Riley. So Reeve was just about to kick it. Comes out the back. In comes Reeve once again. Lays a tackle. Heverington gets onto his left boot. Looks down for East. Mead will be first to it. Gets the ball out of play. Spills over the back. Dwight's there. Just chucks it onto his boot. Heverington. Shot on goal. Left foot. Land top of the square. Demetrio gives it over to Strawn. Cleverly. Top of the goal square. Strawn. Goal. 3 in the third quarter to Strawn. Demetrio done that perfectly. He knew he was out of position, but tapped it back to Strawn. And Strawn made no mistake. So they've just got the answers. Margin back out, 49 points. Kicked 7 goals to 2 in this third quarter. And really opened this game up. There's only 13 points at the half. So 9 goals won, 55, 15-10, 100, 45 points. Under a minute to go. Hall back in the ruck, knocks it forward. Comes to Patrick Riley. Wrapped up by Anu. Umpire to throw the ball up, just forward to centre. Deanmill's way. Hall knocks it forward once again. Looks there for Reeve. Done a few times today. Beluda gets it. Handballs out to Hall. Goes wide to East. Gets onto his left boot. Looks down for Strawn. Lands in front of his feet. Siren goes as they go forward once again. A terrific third quarter by the visitors. 7 goals to 2. Strawn has 4, Demetrio 3, Mason 3, Tempera, Beluda, and Anu 1 apiece. Blake East got a couple in that third quarter as well. And for the home side, well, Ben Thompson's been a shining light up forward with 4. 1 in the first, 2 in the third, 2 in the second, 1 in the third. Nadusi 1, he's out for the game. Luke Riley 1, Caritas, DeCiso, we're not sure how to say that, but anyway, he got a goal, and Ryan Lloyd got a terrific goal from the goal square. But they'll go into the last quarter, 45 points down, 9-1-55 to the visitors, 15-10-100. We'll be back shortly with the last quarter from Boyup Brook Football Oval.
Our name is derived from the Greek prefix, macro, large. From the day we were born, this has been a promise for the future. We have grown through dedication, sweat, self-denial, faithful to our mission of being on the side of those who put themselves on the line. Through our name, we celebrate the greatness of those who believe there are no obstacles higher than their dreams. The courage to get back up after falling. The obstinacy of believing until the end. These are the values embedded in our logo. The Macron Hero. It's a celebration of sacrifice and tenacity. Up until your personal victory. Until your arms are in the sky. Become your own hero.
So players is filing back into position for the last quarter here. Well, Boyup, they've been gallant. First half they were sensational. They just fell away towards the latter part of that third quarter. Deanmill kicked 7 goals, 3 in that third quarter to 2 goals, 1. And they'll take a 45-point lead into this last quarter. The Riley boys, well, they've been sensational. Hold their head high. Bombara's been terrific. Thompson has been a real shining light up forward with 4 goals. Away we go, last quarter. Bleachmore wins it down, comes back to him. Opening clearance goes the way of Boyup Brook through Bleachmore. Brodie Reeve playing in front, just gets it and kicks it long. Bailey takes a good mark. Plays on, looks down there for Mason. Strawn kick, under pressure. They'll reload once again through Brodie Reeve, deep. On the far side of the ground, comes inboard, finds Heverington. Riley Heverington, still 2 kicks out from goal. Leads come, one of them Strawn, puts his big mitts up, good mark, Strawn. Looked like he ran under the ball. Terrific mark. Gets up a little bit gingerly. I'm no coach, but if he kicks this, I'll be taking him off and resting him for next week. This is for goal number 5. 3 in that third quarter. He'll kick from 48 metres out, pretty much directly in front. Jordan Strawn, the power forward, kicks on its way. Good piece of that. Gets there. It got there all right. Goal to Strawn. He's got a handful. Opening goal of the last goes the way of the visitors. Margin 51 points. Good mark. Great conversion from the big power forward for Deanmill. Keep an eye on him. Big game coming up next week. That's for 4th spot. Ball back in the middle. Bleachmore does well. Comes back to Hall. Spills out towards Riley. That's of the Patrick variety. Goes forward looking for Caritis. Lands at his feet. Tempera's there. Could have been taken without it. In comes Thompson. Uses his size. Handball back out to Caritis. Couldn't soccer it off the ground. Lloyd snaps. Goal! He's got 2. Ryan Lloyd. I don't know if you can tell if he's got his number 1 supporter in the house. But just stood his ground, assessed the situation. It's a good player. Snap from 20. Goal for goal, early stages, last quarter. Margin back to 45 points. So some things to work on in the middle of the ground for Deanmill. Up they go. Hall wins it down. Mark Otis in front. Socket off the ground by Bumbara. They're forward again. Lands in the arms of Joshua Reeve. Handball over. In they come. Hall goes wide. Has Tempera there for support. Goes through his legs. Can give it back to Hall. Does so. Gets onto his left boot. Hugs a wing. Asking a lot of Kobe Brown. It's still in play. In they come. Patrick Riley's there. Well done by the youngster in brown. Tackle lingered. Umpire let the play go on. In comes Beluda. Umpire to throw the ball up. Right in front of the members. 45 points the margin. Early stages, goal for goal. Luke Riley this time picks it up off the ground. Markotis this time does the tackling for Deanmill. The umpire will do it all over again. Hall wins it towards Ianu. Had a terrific third quarter. Picks the ball up. East front position. 1 grab 2. Couldn't take it on the third. Umpire's seen a free kick. It'll go to East. Blake East. And he'll kick pretty much where Strawn kicked the first goal of this last quarter. A couple of metres closer. He kicked from 45 metres out directly in front. This for his third. Blake East crosses 50 now. Left foot kicks on its way. Good purchase. Straight as an arrow. East gets another one. So goal for goal. Early stages, third of the last quarter. East now has 3. 2 in the third. 1 in the last. Strawn's got a handful. Demetrio's got 3 along with Mason. Mason's been on the bench, hopefully precautionary, for the last couple of quarters. But they just have all the answers so far. Margin out to 51 points. So Bleachmore ruck most of the day up against Hall. Hall wins it forward. Lands in the arms of Patrick Riley. Wields around. Drives it forward. Racing. Bounces in front of him. Comes over the back towards Brodie Reeve. Knocks it out towards Joshua Reeve. Tries to pick the ball up. Ball tied up inside the centre square. It's Reeve and Lloyd pick themselves up off the ground. One a little bit quicker than the other. This time Hall knocks it forward towards Blake East. Kick the last goal. He's wrapped up by Mbara. Umpire will come in and do it all over again. Don't waste any time. Hall tries to get it over the back. Lloyd's taken high. Handball's on. Gets it to Riley. Patrick drives it forward, looking for Thompson. Couldn't take it on the second grab. Comes to East. Just chucks it onto his boot. Gledhill's there. Spills out towards Baluta. Comes to Patrick Riley. Crosses 50. Shot on goal. Oh. Touched over the line by Tempera. Right on the goal line. Good defence by Brock Tempera. Minor score. Tempera to bring the ball back into play. Goes on the far side of the ground. Looks for Blake East. Has Miller. Carries over the back. Open space. Sits up nicely for East. Cuts back inboard. Gives it to Ianu. Goes deep inside 50. Looks for Strawn. Across the front of him came O'Neill. Spills out to Hanson. Hanson gets it back to Mead. Goes wide looking for Luke Riley. Bounces in front of him. Puts himself under pressure. East closes. Manages to get the kick on the boot. Sport by Miller back towards the boundary line. Baluta keeps it in play. Gets around Miller. It's around a couple. Not his best kick. Looks for Bailey. On the ground. Some sort of handball. Illegal. Mead to take the relieving free kick right on the half back line for the Roos. Goes in the middle of the ground and finds Wedderburn, Nathaniel Wedderburn. Right in the middle, Brook Oval, high up and under. Favour his brother, nearly takes the mark. In they come now, puts himself under pressure. Reeve is there, socket off the ground by Lloyd, Caritis. Good for him, nice and low, picks it up, but tackled straight away by Brock Tempera. Umpire to throw the ball up 40 metres out from Boyup's goal. Thompson this time to do the ruck work. Gets front position, wins it down, spills out the back to Joshua Reeve, just chucks it onto his boot. Lands on the chest of Luke Riley. Goes inboard, Bleachmore running back with the fly to play. Took the mark, called to play on. Baluta nearly closes. Racing, read it well, takes the mark. The youngsters combine. Short kick goes to Kobe Brown. Goes down Members wing, finds Baluta. Right in front of the commentary box, Dylan Baluta. Looking there for Hall. Hall takes the mark uncontested. Plays on by hand to East. Has a few options. Goes long, looks for Demetrio. Holds his ground, read it well, then didn't take the mark. Spills out the back towards Pasotto, then to O'Neill. Under pressure, high up and under. Mark taken by Wedderburn. Inside defensive 50. Plays on. Not his best kick. There's more shin than boot in that one. Comes to Finlay. Racing, holds his ground. Ball still in play. And now rushed over the boundary line cleverly. Ball to be thrown in. 50 points the margin. Still 13 minutes to go in this last quarter. Hall wins it over the back. Looking there for East. Bounces up nicely. Gets a nice hands to Tim Ioanu. Been good in this second half. Good kicks. Looked for Demetrio. Couldn't take the mark out in front. Bailey's there. Looks better up forward. Gledhill looks there for Strawn. Strawn's well outside 50. Tackled by O'Neill. Comes inboard to Miller. He's had a good day, Miller. Gets around a couple. Handballs back to Mead. Middle of the ground. Looks for Riley. And Riley takes the mark in front of Brown. Plays on. Goes long. High up and under. Couple of options. Finlay's there. Hall decided to stay down. Can soccer off the ground cleverly to Blake East. Gets around a couple. Goes backwards. Racing. Defensive 50. Now they go forward and find Hall. Hall goes inboard slightly. Finds Joshua Reeve. Plays on by hand to David Marcotis. Inside 50. Not his best kick. And in front, the mark is taken by Patrick Riley. Right on defensive 50. Been called to play on. Goes wide. Kicks it out of bounds. It's the first time he's missed his brother all day. Rawson will put this. A terrible kick. It might end up all right. Lands with Heverington. Gives a handball over to Gledall. Players wide. Iona can take this and run into an open goal. And does so. So a few errors on the defensive 50 by Boyup. Brook allowed Iona. He's been terrific in the second half. He's got his second. One in the third quarter and one in the last. And ran into an open goal. Made no mistake from 20 metres out. Wing in the middle of the ground. It's been terrific. Closing in the later stages of his career. Still terrific wherever he plays. Fitness levels, one of the best. Ball back in the middle. Twite does a ruck work. Wins it down over Wedderburn. Nearly comes back to Twite. Wrapped up in the middle of the ground was Riley. Patrick. They come. Wedderburn this time wins it down. Favours Rawson. Picks the ball up. Handballs over towards East. Puts him under pressure as he's wrapped up in a strong tackle from Luke Riley. An umpire to do it all over again. 56 points the margin. Just worn them down. One out the back by Wedderburn. Twite comes in. Rawson's there. Picks it up. Tries to get the handball away. Tackled by Riley. Wins the free kick. Just as Rawson was about to handball. No, out again. Plays on. No pressure. Goes deep. Looks there for Thompson. And Thompson takes the mark in front of Callum East. And he'll go back. He'll kick from right on 50. This for number 5. One in each quarter so far. A couple in the second. Ben Thompson. He'll cross 50. Does so. Kicks on its way. Good kick too. Does it hold its line? Gets to the top of the square. Spoilt through by Tempera. Just as Bleachmore was about to wrap his big mitts around it. Through for a minor score. Just a little bit too far out. Brodie Reeve brings the ball back in the play. Finds Brock Tempera. Goes wide. He looks there for Rayson. Open space. Sits up nicely for the youngster. Comes inboard. Good kick too. Running under the ball was Bailey. Had plenty of time. Now they're back through the middle of the ground. Yeah, Chuka, that's probably easier to say. His last name, I'll have to get what that is. But the handball comes back out. The Luke Riley. Miller. Then in the middle to Patrick Riley. Not 15. Goes looking for Thompson. Slips over right at the end. Comes to Wedderburn. Benjamin. Goes wide. East is there. Thompson. Will the ball stay in play? East does well. Tried to go the body. Misses the body, but come in for a second effort with the smother. As Thompson was about to shoot on goal. 20 metres out. Boyup's goal. East and Thompson do the ruck work. Comes towards Caritis. And they come. Bleachmore knocks it onto his boot. East tries to barge his way through. Does so. High up and under. And Patrick Riley takes the mark in front of Blake East. Good contested mark. Been called to play on. Gets around East on the mark. He'll get to 50. Go to the top of the square. Wedderburn's out the back. Couldn't take it on the second grab. Spills out towards Brodie Reeve. Comes back to him. Handball out to Rayson. Been good down there. Now they've got room on the far side of the ground. Gledall's there. Boundary line wins. Miller, for the home side, will take the relieving free kick. Comes in board to Luke Riley. Not much pressure on the mark. Sting's gone out of the game. Thompson takes a strong contested mark in front of Callum East. And this time, 40 metres out, 45-degree angle. So a lot closer than what he was before. This for number 5. Ben Thompson. He comes now. A couple of steps. Kicks on its way. Kicks on its way. Straight through. Thompson. He's got a handful. Worked tirelessly down there. Limited opportunities, especially in the second half. He's got goals in every quarter. Got 5. Lloyd with 2. The 2 goals to 3 in this last quarter in favour of the visitors. But the Sting has well and truly got out of this game, still with 8 minutes to go. Ball back in the middle. Twite does the ruck work, wins it down. It comes to Patrick Riley, knocks it to his own advantage. Plays on, forward they go once again. Thompson, best position, misses the mark he should have taken. Spills over the back to Tempera. Nice handball to Brodie Reeve. Has a bounce. Gets around Bumbara. Not sure what the kick was trying to do. Trying to bounce it through, but Wedderburn cut it off. Handballs over to Luke Riley. Comes in the middle. Baluta should have taken the mark. Spoils it straight to Bumbara. Ducks his head. Comes back to Joshua Reeve. Then to Brodie Reeve. Out to Ianu. Puts him under pressure. Does well, the veteran. Goes on the far side to Gledhill. Open space. Looking there for Bailey. Bailey picks it up and helped over the boundary line by Pasotto. Ball to be thrown in. Far side of the ground. 49 points the margin. Wedderburn does the ruck work. Favours Twite. I'll have to reload the boundary umpire. And this time, good throw in. Twite wins it over the back. Wedderburn soccers it off the ground. Goes past Reeve. Handball out. Ended up okay to Luke Riley. Looks for Coritis. Tempera works him under the ball. Must have been touched off boot. Handball to Brodie Reeve. Back to Tempera. Far side of the ground. Finds Ianu. Been called to play on. Bumbara works the mark. Goes out wide looking for Smith. It won't stay in play. Goes over the boundary line. Free kick. O'Neill. Boyup Brook. Comes in board. Heverington. Tried to spoil Pasotto. But Pasotto on the second grab takes the mark. Right on defensive 50. Kick. Riley. Luke. Plays on. Looks down for Thompson. Goes Bleachmore. Goes past him to Brodie Reeve. Handball to Tim Ioanu. Goes down the middle of the ground. Asking a fair bit of Heverington. Nearly takes the mark. Spilled out when he hit the ground. Comes back to Pasotto. Pasotto to O'Neill. Back to Riley. Luke. Gives it to Patrick Riley. Goes short. Bleachmore can get it back. Patrick Riley does so. Tries to get around Brodie Reeve. Good tackle by Reeve. Free kick. Will go the way of Brodie Reeve, right at half-back line. Has Twite. The ball's going to sit up. Goes past him and Finlay. Comes out the back. Brown's there. Misses the ball. Gets a handball back inside to Baluta. He goes short by hand to Twite. Has a bounce. Sells a bit of candy. Crosses 50. Shot on goal from Twite. Goal! Very, very casual Twite. But made no mistake from 50. Player down right in front of us. It's Finlay. Just in that contest. But Twite received the handball from Baluta. He knew what he was doing. Sold a little bit of candy, then crossed 50. Shot on goal. Made no mistake. So he joins the goal kicking. 8 different goal kickers today for Deanmill. And now he finds himself back in the middle of the ground up against Wedderburn. Wins it down, comes back to him, tries to knock it up to himself. Over to Baluta. Baluta couldn't get a handle on it, spills out to Patrick Riley. Nice hands to Miller. Miller goes forward, Ianu's first back. Now they're out on the far side of the ground through Gledhill. Gledhill looks short for Rawson. Sits up nicely. He'll give it back to Gledhill. Has time to assess. Comes in board. Looks for the big fella Hall. And Hall takes the mark on his chest at full stretch. Goes wide. Finds Mark Otis. Still 2 kicks out from goal. Mark Otis. Goes in board. Looks for Demetrio. Demetrio takes an uncontested overhead mark. And for back-to-back goals in this last quarter, Demetrio will go back 45 metres out, directly in front. A goal in each of the first three. Hasn't got one in the last. In he comes now. Crosses 50. Ethan Demetrio. Kick on its way. Across the face, still in play. Mark could have been taken, but Bailey snaps around and kicks a beautiful goal. Justin Bailey. He's done some uncanny things today, Bailey. It could have been paid a mark. Read the play. He looks much better up forward. Provided a really good target across half forward, Justin Bailey. So he becomes the 9th goal scorer for Deanmill. Still 4 minutes to play in this last quarter. The margin is out near 10 goals. Twite back in the middle, up against Wedderburn. Twite wins it down towards Rawson, comes out to Beluda, ducks his head, tries to handball out to Anu, misses his target, back to Luke Riley, crosses inside 50, looks for Thompson. Crossing in front of him was Brodie Reeve, courageously. First back, can get the ball back, sells a little bit of candy, goes wide, looks for the youngster in Brown. Brown takes the mark right on defensive 50. Nice kick, finds Twite right in front of the Boyup Brook interchange box. He looks for Mark Cotis, and Mark Cotis at full speed takes the mark in front of Reed, plays on, long and strong, O'Neill in the way, and he takes the defensive mark right on defensive 50 for the home side. He'll come from Twite in front position, Bleachmore closes, knocks the ball out of bounds. The ball to be thrown in, centre wing, members side, 61 points the margin. Still 3.5 minutes to go in this last quarter. Twite does the ruck work. Wedderburn had the run up, missed the ball, comes to Ianu, handball towards Beluda, back to Twite, goes long, looks for Demetrio, carries him, and Hanson. How will it bounce? It bounces through for a minor score, and Hanson will reload for the Roos. An open space, Twite looks ever the player. Hanson tells his teammates he's going long, then goes short, goes wide, looking for Riley. Good kick, sits up nicely, has Rawson there. Umpire says, give it to me. Give it to the boundary umpires. He crossed over before the central umpire come in. This time Bailey to do the ruck work. Up against Pasotto. Pasotto gets him out of the way. Tackle comes back towards Bailey. Handball over to Gledhill. Upended as he was just about to kick it. Bailey picks it up. Miller chucks it onto his boot. Goes wide. Rayson's there.
Go, Chook. Keep going, Chook.
Chook is the man that kicked the goal in the second quarter. We'll get his pronunciation right, but it was a good goal. Kick spoiled. Spill out towards Reeve. Has time to assess. Comes inboard, high up and under. And a good mark's taken by Tim Ioanu. Brilliant second half by the veteran. Good kick too, finds Rawson. 2 kicks from home. Blake Rawson goes long, top of the square. Demetrio's going to have to come from behind. Hanson stands his ground, spills over to Smith, comes to O'Neill, handballs out. Riley's there, ducks his head. Manages to pick the ball up, goes down towards Mark. Mark goes inboard, mark taken. Looking there for Bleachmore. Brodie Reeve does the spoiling, comes to Patrick Riley. Good tackle by Beluda. And it's been rewarded, wins the free kick. Right in the middle of the ground, has Brown wide, uses him, can play on and go. Markotis is short, goes that way. Markotis takes the mark, holds play up. Mead stands the mark, 55 metres out from goal. Puts it to the top of the square. Demetrio once again had to come from too deep. O'Neill gets himself in the way and takes the defensive mark for the Roos. Goes on the far side of the ground, looking for Luke Riley. As soon as he picked it up, Twite affected the tackle. Too high. Comes inboard, looks for Wedderburn. Racing comes over, but Wedderburn takes a strong mark. Done well, Wedderburn. The player short, Bleachmore. Now they have options. Bleachmore, he'll look for Coritis, setting him a big target, nearly takes the mark, comes back towards Coritis, spills out to Tempera, breaks a couple of tackles, and they're out once again through Brown. Plenty of space, far wing, comes inboard, looks for Bailey, takes the mark, goes wide, looking for Twite, misses his target, but Demetrio's there for help. Comes inboard looking for Blake Rawson. Did he take the mark? Yes, he did, in front of O'Neill. Stole it out of his hands. So Blake Rawson will kick for goal after the siren. Margin 62 points. Just to get his name on the goal scoring list. It's for the 10th individual goal kicker for Deanmill. In he comes, kicks on its way. So goal after the siren to Rawson. The margin 67 points. Kicked 6 goals to 2 in that last quarter at Deanmill. The second half was terrific. They straightened up, got themselves into some good spots to kick the goals. End up running out convincing winners. For Boyup Brook, well, they led early. They kicked 7 goals straight. Ended up with 11 goals, 3, 69. To 21 goals, 11, 137. So 68 points to margin. Terrific game of footy. Easy on the eye. Played in really, really good spirit. Hopefully not too many injuries. Deanmill will have a big game next week against Tigers. Whoever wins that will be playing in the first semi, so that's a big game. For Boyup Brook, well, it doesn't get any tougher than coming up against the undefeated Kojonup next week. But they've had a terrific effort here today. Losing Nadusi in that second quarter, it allowed Thompson to play deep, but it really affected that kick into the centre-half forward line where Thompson was providing a really good target. But they gave it their all. The Riley boys were terrific. Rory Miller had one of his best games I've ever seen him play. Thompson was terrific down forward. And the old fellow Lloyd, well, he got a couple of goals in the second half, much to the delight of his number one fan in the box here, Therese. But they played well. They tried hard. Wedderburn was terrific. Bleachmore tried hard in the ruck up against Hall for most of the day. They just didn't have the soldiers. As the game got closer and closer into that third quarter, they just ran out of a little bit of steam. The Riley boys couldn't do it all, but they did well, and they'll be in the votes, I'm sure, when the association medal is run out. So for the home side, Nadusi got 1, Riley got 1, Ben Thompson, he got 5, 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third and 1 in the fourth. Coritis got 1. Chuka, and he knows who it is, got 1, and Ryan Lloyd got 2, 1 in the third and 1 in the fourth. And for the winners, Brock Tempera got 1, Riley Mason got 3, but spent the last 2.5 quarters on the bench. Baluta got 1, Demetrio got 3, Strong got 5, Blake East got 3, all in the second half. Timuanu got 2, both in the second half. Twite, Bailey and Rawson with a goal after siren got 1 apiece. 69 points the margin. Deanmill run out winners. Thank you to lovely Mrs. Juice to my left, the timekeeper, to our sensational Ryan Lloyd's number one fan, Therese, and everyone involved with the Boyup Brook Footy Club. All the best for the last game next week. I mean that. Keep trying hard, and we'll see what next year brings. It's a tough gig next week against Koji, but I'm sure you'll front up and do your best. To Deanmill, well, they'll go and play Tigers at home next week. That is for the first semi, so that'll be a terrific game to watch. They did well, sluggish in the first half, but tuned up in the second, and they ran out winners by 69 points. Next week we'll be at Bridgetown Oval for the game between Bridgetown and Southerners. Thanks to Rob on the camera, and it's goodbye from Boyup Brook.
The relationship with Great Southern Fuels started with my father 50 years ago, delivering fuel in drums back in the day, which has progressed into large tanks now. They've been very reliable and efficient on time with service.
We run a mixed farming operation here on Chapman Valley, just north of Geraldton, managing about 5,500 hectares. We've been with what is now Great Southern Fuels for in excess of 20 years. There's always challenges and situations that catch you out, and they've been really, really good at accommodating that for us.
We've been with Great Southern for 28 years now. Look, they've given us exceptional service and the price competitive. So it's wonderful.
They're a great company to work for. They're a family-owned business. They will support you and whatever is required.
I've got Alan's phone number, I've got Steve's phone number, and I know if I ring it I'll get an answer, which is really cool.
The relationship's great and the service is second to none. So I ring up and it doesn't matter if it's Saturday, Sunday or whenever I ring up, I'll have fuel. So we've never been held up or had a problem with them. So my theory is that's what I'm about. It's about service and the relationship, and it's been fantastic.
It's very important to maintain long-term customers' loyalty and give back what you can when you can.
Great Southern Fuels is one of the few companies that I've been involved with that gives so much back to the local community. We support so many different organisations and country, sporting clubs, field days, farming organisations.
We endeavour to give back. The community looked after us by dealing with us, and we just gave it back in what we could do. Footy club needs a hand, well, it's because they need a hand that you give it to, not the other way around.
When you look at how they conduct themselves in the community, they've been a great supporter of the Livestock Transporters Association. Just incredible what they do.
They do a lot for the community, which is good. And not only Lake Race either, it's right through where all these outlets are all over the state. He's been excellent with that.
We tend to sponsor major events, the Great Southern Football Carnival, Colt Carnival.
Across the board, I think sponsorships are a very important part of any community. I grew up in Lake Grace and footy was my life down there for a long time. Great Southern sponsored Lake Grace back then, and along with many other footy clubs and hockey clubs and tennis clubs. And we might not always be making a big deal out of it, but the people that get sponsored, they understand and they relate to it.
They do a lot for the town, so I can't fault them. They've been brilliant.
Great Southern Fuels have got strong values, and that shows in what they do. They walk the talk and they do what they do.
You deal with people that are there and care about your business, and these people have been absolutely wonderful.
I'm very proud of what Mum and Dad have achieved in their life and how they've structured the business, and it's all structured around our customers and looking after people and being in the right areas where we need to sell the fuel and have the support there and sponsorship, being part of the community, even though we're not in that community, but our workers are there and that's part of us.
Our name is derived from the Greek prefix, macro, large. From the day we were born, this has been a promise for the future. We have grown through dedication, sweat, self-denial, faithful to our mission of being on the side of those who put themselves on the line. Through our name, we celebrate the greatness of those who believe there are no obstacles higher than their dreams. The courage to get back up after falling. The obstinacy of believing until the end. These are the values embedded in our logo. The Macron Hero. It's a celebration of sacrifice and tenacity. Up until your personal victory. Until your arms are in the sky. Become your own hero.